All right, let's head to the big house, my home state. This is the first matchup between Michigan and Penn State, in which both teams are unbeaten since 1997. Undefeated Penn State faces a tough 3-game stretch, starting with the Wolverines and their very intimidating defense. So, Lindale, last year, Penn State was 5-0. They go on the road against a top 5 Big Ten team. They lose a heartbreaker to Iowa. How do you think that experience is maybe prepping them for this weekend showdown in Ann Arbor?
It's prepping them, but it's also in the back of their minds heavy. Unfortunately, when you're a football player, you read clippings, you remember what happened last year.
Never an easy game at the big house. Mark, surely you're not betting against my Wolverines, right?
Well, Haley, their offense is starting to give me cause for concern. You know, they average 51 points a game.
In-state rivalry this week, Iowa versus Iowa State. This is always a fun one to watch. Yeah. Iowa, who's the favorite here, has won the past 6 matchups, but they weren't able to generate more than a touchdown in their win over South Dakota State last week. So kind of unsure on their offense here. Yeah, Iowa State is also coming off a win over Southeast Missouri State. Not a ton of competition there, but they did hit 42 points for their offense. Who gets bragging rights in Iowa this year, Linda?
It's crazy because earlier I think I picked Iowa. But now that you say that, I think you swayed me a little bit. I think I'm going to go Iowa State.
Starting with some Thursday night football in Cincinnati, guys. Joe Burrow and the Bengals will host Miami, who I know, Andre, you're probably not too happy with right now after their shocking upset over your Bills. But although the Dolphins are currently undefeated, the money line actually says they're the underdog here. So, Andre, I'd like to know what in your mind has been the difference here for Dolphins QB Tua Tagovailoa this season that could also be the difference in Miami taking the game.
2 people, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Let's start things off with an early Stanley Cup conversation, guys. Right now, the Avs and the Bruins are the favorites. Bruins on a 2-month run as the NHL's best, recently setting a record actually for the most home wins to start their season now in league history. Kevin, what are your thoughts on where Lord Stanley is headed in 2023?
You know what? The Bruins obviously have been the best team, probably the most surprisingly good team in the season, so far this season.
Yeah, they're a great playoff team. And actually, that brings up a good point, too. Before I get Mark's take on this, I'm curious what you think about this Lightning team right now. It seems like whenever people start to throw some shade on the Lightning dynasty, they love to remind you that they have won so much. Nobody wants to play them in the playoffs. So how important will it be to keep that in mind, Kevin, when you're basing your picks solely off their record right now?
Yeah, Tampa Bay, everyone sort of doubted them, I think, last season. And what happened? They make a run to the Stanley Cup final. And,
SEC West #1, Bama, probably not too happy with how close they let things get with that Texas A&M game last week. They'll head to Tennessee. And how about this? First time the Bulls enter the 3rd Saturday in October, undefeated since 1998. The last time they won the Natty. Big season for Tennessee as they look to make a statement against Bama. Arguably Tennessee's biggest game in 20 plus years. Lendale, how important is it for the Vols to keep their emotions in check against a team that has won 6 national titles since the last time Tennessee beat them?
Yeah, the last time Tennessee beat them, my good friend Arian Foster was the running back down there. So it's been a very long time.
Philadelphia versus Washington this Sunday afternoon. Eagles QB Jalen Hurts looking like he's gone to a new level behind one of the best O-lines in the league. Are we seeing the start of perhaps the best team in the NFC? And is it fair to say that Philly could be a Super Bowl contender? I know some people say that's way out there, but some people are saying it could be. So Philly favored by a few points. Terrell, let's hear it.
Well, I think it's kind of premature to be talking about the Eagles and the Super Bowl. I mean, they're off to a 2-0 start, but let's pump the brakes a little bit.
The expectations weren't too high for Kansas football team this year, as they haven't been the past few years, but they have already surpassed their preseason sportsbook win total of 2.5 with 3 solid wins to kick off the season. They're 9-point favorites against Duke this week. So we know Kansas can play some basketball, but how bright is their future on this football field, Lendale?
Right. I was just going to say that these are the battles of the basketball teams. For some reason, I just don't believe in Duke.
Of 2018, England captain Harry Kane won it in Russia in 2018, scoring 6 goals on the way to a 4th place finish. He is widely backed to finish the tournament as the top scorer again. Be the first person actually in history to win 2 Golden Boots. Mariano, are you liking Kane to be the tournament's top goal scorer here, or do you have someone else in mind?
I love Harry Kane, to be honest, but the context around Harry Kane is not the best right now with England. They're losing players.